大家好，阿弥陀佛. Dharma friends, good evening. Welcome to our sutra lecture tonight. My name is Heng Sure. We're going to be looking into the Avatamsaka Sutras, chapter number 26, which is chapter number 25, which is the Ten Transferences chapter. So I would like to have us bow 3 times. I'll ring a bell, and we can make 3 half bows from where we're sitting, and after that we'll invite Huali to be the Dharma requester tonight. 今天晚上我恒师要跟各位分享这个大放广佛华严经第15品、25品那个十回向品的一些这个知识啊，我们大家互相研究啊，互相学习了啊。那么要开始的话，我先敲引磬敲3下，然后请大家跟着就三文巡礼。好，然后呢，我们就请华丽居士给我们请法。好Huali, if you would like to request Dharma, please do it now.
恭请大德僧听，为此法会集一切众生，请转妙法轮，教导我们如何了生脱死，离苦得乐，殊证无生。Will the Sangha with great virtue, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to leave suffering and attain bliss and earn birth and death, and quickly realize non-birth.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Namo sadanto suchedoye alahudi samyao samputoshe.
Namo sadanto suchedoye alahadi samyao samputoshe.
无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。Supreme and wondrous Dharma, subtle and profound, rarely is encountered, even in billions of eons. But now we see and hear it and accept it reverently. May we truly understand the Buddha's actual meaning. 好的 Okay, Huali, appreciate the Dharma request. 如果大家想听越南话的翻译，那个 chat box 里边都哪里可以找到一个 link， 你 click 在那个 link 上，你都会听到一种流利的越南话的翻译。We have a Vietnamese translation available to folks. If you'd like to click in the chat box, you'll find a Vietnamese translation. And let us begin. Tonight is the Avatamsaka Sutra. So we can request the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the Avatamsaka Assembly to draw near and to bless everyone listening and make this sutra lecture auspicious. 我们就迎请这个华严海会佛菩萨，还有天龙八部一切护法上身，莅临道场，祝福各位令一切都吉祥。 And we would like to acknowledge the country and say that the Pomo people practice their spiritual connections to the earth and to all creation here on their ancestral land for tens of thousands of years. Today we acknowledge them as traditional custodians and the original storytellers of these lands. We offer our respect to their elders past, present, and emerging, and to all First Nations people whose sovereignty was never ceded. Alrighty. 那下个星期天呢，我本身就感冒了，像讲话，哎呀，出不来声音了，那个是很麻烦，对我来讲也不好讲，对你们来讲就也不好听，所以呢，就为慈悲你们了，所以就请Kovilo 法师来代替他讲的，还有Koi教授。所以呢，那这个礼拜了都恢复正常了，所以没事。So last week I had the flu, and as an act of compassion for all of you, I decided not to lecture because it was like opened my mouth and couldn't hear anything. No sound came out. So we're definitely appreciate Ajahn Kovilo for standing in and giving a profound talk that everyone enjoyed, and also Professor Koi. So this week, all is good. So we're back. All right. Here's our text right here. Here's our Avatamsaka text. Now, I want to give you a quick introduction to this, and just to give us a sense of what's going on. And one of the more powerful realities of the華嚴經 Ten Transferences chapter is the sutra functions just like a window in the mind of the bodhisattva. And we get to see what the bodhisattva is thinking. It's just amazing how the sutra gives us this in-depth view of the thoughts of a bodhisattva, a real Avatamsaka bodhisattva, as he or she does something really profound. And this occurred to me this week as I was contemplating this, how what's going on, if you think about Buddhist practice, people say, let's see here, there we go. Hey, Omitofo. Most of Buddhist practice, you think, well, I'm going to meditate because I want to get a peaceful mind. I'm going to meditate because I want to end birth and death. Oh, I want to recite the Buddha's name because the Pure Land sounds like a very good place to be. So we cultivate with that thought of self-improvement. When it comes to transference, this 10th practice of Samantabhadra, it's done for the improvement of others. So of all the various ways that we can practice, 84,000 Dharma methods, right? When it comes to this transference, the whole focus of it is to get out there and make an impact on the lives of others using the strength of my own mind. That's profound. Think about that. How many things in the world that you do are completely to benefit others? Well, although, Master Hua would say, you help yourself, help others. You take yourself across, you take others across. You open yourself and awaken others. That's true, too. You can explain it that way. 这个礼拜呢，我在观想这个回向这个法门。本来说有84000那么多修行的方法，这个方法，这个普贤菩萨第10大愿不一样。我们就总括起来，那么多应该说受欢迎的修行的方法，一般来讲呢，就说我愿意打坐，我打坐呢，我如果真的是这个打破这个黑气通啊，我就可以就可以明心见性啊，我可以有大智慧啊，我可以跟我的师父可以报我师父的恩德啊，我也可以了生脱死啊，多么好啊！另外一个人呢，他说我要念佛，我要念到一心不乱，可以在极乐世界一个清净的莲花里边脱胎出生，多么好哇！那个极乐世界比这里好多的地方啊。对，这两个一个打坐，一个念佛自利他利这些方法呢，都是由利，就是自利，用自己的力量利益自己，用他人就是阿弥陀佛的力量利益自己，这个好处都归于自己了啊，是不是？可是呢，你说这个回向这个法门呢，不一样，这是利益人家，是愿意把我所修行的功德跟其他人，我回向的对象，令他的生命有所改善，有可以提高可以增长他的功德，他的善根。你说不一样，这个不一样，不自私不自利啊。Interesting, huh? Okay, so I thought that was interesting. 那么 I didn't translate the first part of it. Let me translate it first, and I'll go back. 还有一点就说，如果我要介绍这个回向这个法门呢，大家有没有注意哈？华严经从这一段就在眼前，你看那个荧幕啊，那个从这段开始呢，我们就等于什么？这是等于华严经把一个窗户在菩萨的心里，或者我指头往我的头了，你觉得思想是在头里边还是在胸平这儿心里边？什么地方不要紧了，两个都可以，没有关系了。你在思考那个地方开了一个窗户，可以看到菩萨的念头在转。他起一个念头，我们都可以看到；另外一个念头，我们都可以看到。我们可以知道《华严经》的真正的菩萨，他的思想如何。Okay? Yeah. So it's cool that as I said that, I said, well, where the Bodhisattva thinks, and I pointed to my head. Why? Because here in the West we think, thoughts happen in the mind. But in Asia mostly it's shin is when you point to the chest. So head, chest, doesn't matter. Where those thoughts turn, the Avatamsaka Sutra takes us into the Bodhisattva's mind. All right. Now, I've mentioned before that the Ten Transferences operates sort of like a series of vignettes. You know, we have soap operas, or not just all soap operas, but television programs. Let's say a TV program that runs over a season might have 8 episodes, 10 episodes, mostly Korean soap operas. There's 16. Interesting. I don't know why. Some of those Chinese 连续剧 go many episodes. So the Avatamsaka is done the same way, that there is an opening when the Bodhisattva is cultivating one way or the other. And from the Bodhisattva's activity in that little vignette in the sutra, the transference wishes flow forth. So the transferences are kind of variations on the theme introduced in the little play in the vignette. Okay, so that's where we are. We've had the theme, the vignette, which is the Bodhisattva is giving away skillful attendants, palace women, what are they called? Adjuncts, and they're not novices. What's the word? These are helpers who are there to provide services for the person, the people, the families, the groups whom the Bodhisattva wants to take across, right? So that's kind of who the Bodhisattva is giving away and sharing with others. Temps, they're called temporary employees, right? They are they're serving the Bodhisattva. And so the vows that follow are kind of on that theme. That's how it's set up. 好的，这个大家喜欢看电视上一些连续剧，是不是？美国这里做的连续剧，那个多少集应该短一点，它要8集啊，10集就结束了啊。那么韩国那个韩流哈，他们多数是16个，不知道为什么16个，是不是3个月半呢，或者什么呢？那中国哎呦这些连续剧呢，好几个20个、40个多。这个好像《西游记》这个小说，明朝那个那个小说，好几品。华严经呢，也是上个连续剧，这不是不恭敬的话，是真的是这样子呢。就说他呢，菩萨他出来，他就做一件事情，预教一种情形，然后他用智慧、用慈悲、用方便方法来处理这个事情。我们可以知道他的反应、他的思想、他的目标、他的动机、他的念头为什么起来。然后呢，所有10个比10个的回向大愿是跟着那个题目，跟那个大题在安排。所以呢，这个短短的戏剧是华严经这个应该说组织的这个方法。好吧，那么前一次还有上一次就说，菩萨呢，他就布施一些人、一些帮手、一些秘书啊这些监院啊这些朋友来帮助人呢。其实菩萨所送出的这些助手，都是画出来的菩萨他的目标是经过这些人的工作来度对象，是这样子。好了那么现在呢，我们就知道菩萨所发的回向愿。Okay, so we're going to get the vows made by the Bodhisattva after doing the work of doing the giving of his helpers who are actually transformed body bodhisattvas, going out to take across the person that the Bodhisattva wants to cross over. 好的 okay, got it. So let's do this first piece. We have actually done a few sentences here, but we'll pick up where we left off. Here we go. Ready? 菩萨而是观诸善根，为欲令一切众生贤得出离故回向，得佛法喜故回向，于不坚固中而得坚固故回向。Contemplating their good roots, the Bodhisattva then makes dedications with the wish that all living beings attain transcendence. They make dedications with the wish that living beings attain bliss in the Buddha Dharma. They make dedications with the wish that living beings attain the enduring within the ephemeral. Okay, let's translate that into real English. Here we go. So, the Bodhisattva looks at the wholesome qualities in those living beings, and he says, I would like to 为欲. And ling, is it make, cause? No. He wants to empower is a good translation. If the Bodhisattva caused living beings to react or made them react, that would be taking away the volition, taking away the 所发的心, the resolve that living beings make. It would be compulsory, and perhaps living beings might not want that. So how is that good roots? So we translate this, because he wanted to make it possible for, to create the conditions for, to empower, to enable living beings on their own to 贤得出离, to get out, to escape. That's what he wanted to do. 菩萨愿意令，令不是说命令，不是说强迫，强迫不是佛法。众生自己发这个心，可是呢，有的时候这个种种的这个因缘呢，众生不能成功，不能完成他们所发的愿，菩萨他都就用这个情形比较好度，比较好过啊，那就是令，令不是说命令哈，他命令什么？就是说没有命令，就是说让众生有办法先得出离，出离苦海，出离三界，那就好了。还有呢 ，What else? So he wants to make it possible for living beings to escape the three realms. The form realm, the desire realm, the form realm, and the formless realm. He wants living beings to escape the ocean of affliction, the sea of suffering, to just get out of their blues. That's what he wants. He wants living beings to 得佛法喜故, to get the joy in the Dharma. Oh man, how important is this? 得佛法喜. Happiness within the Dharma. Oh, man. Anytime you hear somebody using the Buddha Dharma to punish someone else, you have to know that that person has strayed from the Bodhisattva path, has left the Bodhisattva path behind. I remember hearing that there were nuns teaching school, I won't mention where, and their method of getting the school children to listen to them was to say, if you don't behave, you will fall into the hells. And when I heard that, I couldn't speak for a while, because I thought, and this is a Buddhist nun saying this? Well, number one, she is a failure as a teacher. Number two, she's a failure as a Buddhist. To use fear as the motivator, fear of punishment within the Dharma. What have you done? You may have caused a child to obey you briefly, but you have turned them away from Buddhism, because in their mind they associate the Buddha Dharma with punishment. right? So which part of kindness, compassion, serenity, and equanimity does that belong to? That's just someone who gave up on skillful teaching. And of course, sometimes parents have to say, because I told you so. They just use their authority. But teachers aren't parents. They are there to supervise children to get them to love learning. And my goodness, that is not the way to do it. So let's just remove that from our vocabulary of Dharma teaching, because if you don't, you'll fall into the hells. Are you sure? Do you know that that's the case? Can you see it happening? If not, don't mess around. That's spiritual violence, right? Have you anybody heard this? Am I going too far, or do we not hear this enough? 就说得佛法喜，法喜充满，禅悦未失，法喜充满。这个是很欢喜啊，大家听了就开心啊。我听说过不知道哪一个学校有一些比丘尼在那儿教课，教那个学生然后呢他们好像学生不听话然后呢，这个比丘尼他就是穿袈裟的一个出家众，他就说：“你要听我的话，你不听我的话，你会下地狱。”这样子，他就用这种神灵上的暴力来威胁孩子。那如果我是这么一个孩子，我会有什么反应呢？我都会说：“哦，佛法就是惩罚人，我不信佛法，我尽量快要离开这里。我从这个学校出离之后，我不回头了，我不回来，这个地方太危险。”一定会有这种的反应，是不是？那么我也教过书，我3年级我就教过在某某一个学校那个大学课程我也教过。我知道有的时候那个孩子调皮，令你比较不知道怎么呢，那就是教授的失败，更是出家人的失败。你真的知道孩子会下地狱吗？你会看到吗？那你如果不一定知道的，那你为什么用佛法来打人的头？那是跟慈悲喜舍有多少份有什么关系了？没有了。那就是说修行失败，做出家人也失败，当教授也失败。所以以后我们小说，哎呀，你下地狱，这不是佛法的代表应该讲的。OK， 好不好？欲不坚固中而得坚固故回向。So， 就说不坚固中，就是在这个人的身体，在这个地球都是2种身体。这个地球也是我们人类一切众生所有的禽兽、所有的植物的一个身体那个身体现在有病状那么就在那个时候得到一个坚固的人生、坚固的健康的一个地球。So, looking over here we go. They make dedications with the wish that beings attain the enduring within the ephemeral. Yeah, so let me say it another way. They hope that living beings, where things fall apart, get something that doesn't fall apart. What would it be? Well, how about the body? Let's start right there. If you can get a healthy body that doesn't die, oh boy, you have got something that every Taoist wants to get. More likely, it's talking about a body that is able to survive birth, old age, sickness, and death. What kind of a body? That would be the Dharma body and wisdom life. Or you could talk about it as the planet, right? This planet Earth is our big body. That's the body of all creatures in the air, in the water, in the sea, on the land. All kinds of plants, we all share the same earth body, which is currently not feeling well. Our earth body is currently sick. And if we could heal that one, make it healthy. Little musical break to get us through the next passage. Here we go. 得金刚智，不可坏心故回向，入佛道场故回向，道于彼岸故回向，得无上菩提心故回向，能以智慧了达诸法相，出生一切善根故回向，入三世诸佛家故回向。They make dedications with the wish that living beings attain the indestructible mind of Vajra wisdom. They make dedications with the wish that living beings gain entry into the Buddha's sight of awakening. They make dedications with the wish that living beings reach the other shore. They make dedications with the wish that living beings attain the unsurpassed Bodhi resolve. They make dedications with the wish that living beings use wisdom to comprehend all phenomena. They make dedications with the wish that living beings produce good roots. They make dedications with the wish that living beings enter the household of the Buddhas of the 3 periods of time. All righty. So let's look at the Chinese here. What do we have? We just saw a pattern. Here's a pattern. 故回向, 故回向, 故回向. Because of this, they transfer. So this is a pattern of 10 reasons that bodhisattvas transfer merit. So it's, again, as I mentioned, we're kind of opening a window into the mind of the bodhisattva and observing their motives. How come they transfer? How come they reach out into the world of other beings to engage with their karmic stream, you could say, and invest money in their bank account, to mix the metaphor. Okay? 大家有没有看到这个模型，这个 pattern? Pattern, how do you say pattern in Chinese? 这个方法哈。故回向，故回向，故回向。故回向就是说他们回向的原因，他们为什么回向？这就是华严经打开菩萨心旁边的一个窗户，让我们看到菩萨心在转，心他的目标，他的动机是怎么一回事？为什么他愿意把他所辛辛苦苦的修来的功德布施给其他人？不是说自己不要了，就说他愿意分享，他愿意令其他人得到好处啊！你看菩萨就是这么一个不知算数的一个人哈。好的 ，OK, let's take a look here. So 得金刚智 gain Vajra wisdom and indestructible mind therefore 故回向. Everybody see these three words? 故回向. Therefore transfer, 10 times. Let's see if we got 7 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We do. Add 3 from above, we got 10. That's the pattern. 10次有故回向啊，就说得到金刚的智慧，不可坏的心，所以呢，众生拿到那个了，菩萨都满意。Okay, 入佛道场故回向 so that living beings can do what? Merge with the Buddha's place of awakening. What would the Buddha's 道场 be? Now, take a look here. This is important. Okay? The wish that living beings gain entry into the Buddha's site of awakening. Okay? Let's translate that into another way of saying it, and let's say that they want to let beings go to where the Buddha woke up. What does that mean? If the original Puti Daochang, what was the first Bodhimanda? The first Bodhimanda was the Bodhi tree by the riverbank, Naranjana River, where, according to the legend, the Prince Siddhartha got some straw, dry grass, and made a pile so that kind of it was like a meditation cushion, like a zafu, like a futon, so that his rear end was slightly elevated so his knees could touch the ground and he could sit in full lotus comfortably without straining his back or his stomach. That was the first Puti Daochang, the first Bodhimanda. 第一个菩提道场，佛道场是在菩提树下，在那个河旁边。佛就是太子还没成佛，他就把一些干草就堆起来成一个蒲团，意思是说他的后边高一点，他的膝盖低一点，这样子呢容易盘腿打坐双脚趺坐，那是第一个菩提道场。However, there's another way to describe the Bodhimanda, the Buddha's Daochang. And the Buddha's Bodhimanda, you could say, is your mind. The place where you go when you want to meditate. The place where you look when you want to find out what's wrong with your thoughts. The place where worries arise. The place where you get nervous. The place where you are depressed. The place where anger arises. And the place where wisdom arises. Where we get liberated is the very same place. The difference being we've cleaned it up. 另外呢，一个菩提道场就是说，你我他各位心里边的一颗心，所谓方寸就是心转的地方。心那个念头起来那个地方有种种的名字就说我们什么时候焦急，我们什么时候紧张，我们什么时候郁闷就犹豫那个地方都是一个地方，是同一个地方，心在起来那个地方思考那个地方，那么我们成佛是同一个地方，就是收拾好了把智成，把事成智，把事心成智慧心，转那个地方就是那个地方，菩提道场。是的，那个是 mobile 提，就是提动的，可以提起来了随所在处，那个菩提道场，心里边的菩提道场，跟着我们去。Now, the thing about the internal, the 内在的菩提道场, the internal Bodhimanda, is that it's portable. It moves with us. It travels with us. So that Bodhimanda is I think the amazing thing to realize is that it's the place where all the troubles go. When we got the blues, that place that is just a mess and one bad thought after another, is the very place where Buddhas appear. The difference is we have, you could say, disciplined, we've cleaned up, we've trained, we've been kind to, we've vacuumed, we've swept, polished that place. That's the difference. Okay, 道于彼岸故回向. He wants us to go to the other shore. You know the analogy? This side of the river is samsara, birth and death. The other side of the river is nirvana, birth and death's end. In between is the flow of miseries, troubles, the blues, worries, affliction. That's the analogy. So the Bodhisattva wants to take us across on a raft of Dharma to the other shore. So he transfers merit. 大家明白那个比喻啊？此岸就是生死，这里是苦啊。那个彼岸就是涅槃，苦在尽，苦在停。中间是什么呢？中间就是烦恼中流。那么菩萨他愿意把佛法的舟、佛法的船，把我们带到从此岸带到彼岸，所以呢回向。得无上菩提心故回向。Okay, here's the magic item that occurs over and over and over and over in the Avatamsaka Sutra. It's called the Bodhi resolve, the Putishin. Here it's called the supreme Bodhi resolve, Wushang Putishin. This is the highest product of the human mind, and it is the key that unlocks all the rest of the Bodhisattva path and limitless joy. 这个无上菩提心呢，在华严经里边就来了又来，来了又来。哦，看到最多就是菩提心，这里叫无上菩提心。菩提心一起来了，可以说它是我们人法界心里边最高、无上、最宝贵、无价之宝，就是菩提心。我们什么时候这个菩提心起来了，等于一个钥匙，等于一个锁，打开菩萨道那么所有其他的这个菩萨道的这个妙诀，都是从那个就开了，那我们就有生生世世都是欢喜无量。OK， 能以智慧了达诸法故回向。他回向，因为他愿意令众生，令我们有智慧，就可以了达诸法，就是说明白修行的方法，明白一切智。So he wants to use wisdom. He wants to give living beings the dedication of merit so that we can, using wisdom, understand all Dharma. Small d, Dharma, would be understand all phenomena. Big D, Dharma, would be to understand everything the Buddha taught. Got it? 听得懂吗？出生一切善根故回向。He wants living beings to be able to create wholesome roots ourselves, so he transfers merit. The transference of merit is kind of a boost to get us to cultivate on our own, because ultimately we have to take what the Bodhisattva gives us and put it to work in our own minds. He can't take us across on his or her own. So it's a kind of a loan a little bit, so that we can get moving on the Bodhisattva path ourselves. 出生一切善根故，就说菩萨回向，就说把这个善根借给我们，希望我们慢慢的自己都会成就这个善根的这个心地，心地肥沃，那我们自己可以种下，然后培养、栽培，然后收获一切善根。所以就说自己要度自己所以呢，菩萨他愿意完全度我们，不能，还是到时候怎么说呢？ 师父临进门，修行在个人啊。那么我们可以到这个门，这个应该说这个佛门的前边，可是呢，修不修还是自己。So what do they say? Everyone, you yourself. How does it go? No, let's see. How does it go? No one helps you but yourself. No one can. No one saves you but yourself. No one can, and no one may. You yourself must walk the path. Buddhas only show the way. Meanwhile, bodhisattvas are transferring like mad. You betcha. 入三世诸佛家故会上. Now, this is really interesting. That the bodhisattva wants us to be able to join the Buddha's family of the past, the present, and the future. There is a time when that happens. And if you study the Avatamsaka Sutra's 10 stages chapter, it's coming up. We're at 25, it's ahead. In the 10 stages chapter, there is a time when the bodhisattva truly becomes a member of the Buddha's family. Another way to describe it is whenever you take refuge, you are related. You become a member of the Buddha's family. So it depends on whether you want to be a child in the family or a contributing adult in the family. There are different levels of entry, different places of entry. 入三世诸佛家故会上，意思是说，你可以就是说，烧龙佛法，那么可以把这个这个诸佛道业、诸佛家业增长。应该说，我们皈依三宝的时候，那一天就说皈依佛、皈依法、皈依僧，那天我们也是属于佛家啊。不过呢，那个实地品我们现在是实回向品，等一等再到那个实地品，在实地品里边呢，哇，那个时候菩萨他真的是可以少论佛法，他可以令佛法的这个家业增长So there 有不同应该说不同阶级的 there are different levels of the bodhisattvas joining of the family. Okay? Now, let's see here. Okay, we're going to take a look here. Hold on. Let's do this next paragraph before we do a musical break. Ready? We'll go right down to here, and then after that, yeah, here we go. 佛子菩萨摩诃萨住如是法，生如来家，增长诸佛清净圣因，出生最胜一切智道，深入菩萨广大智业，灭除一切世间垢恼，常能供施功德福天，为诸众生宣说妙法，善巧安立，令其修习，诸清净行，常亲摄去一切善根。Disciples of the Buddha, when bodhisattvas, mahasattvas live in practices such as these, they are born into the Tathagata's household. They develop the pure, supreme causes of Buddhas, giving rise to the foremost path of omniscient wisdom. They fully immerse themselves in bodhisattvas' vast and wise deeds, purging the world of defilement and vexation. They always make offerings to fields of merits and blessings. They expound the wonderful Dharma for living beings, skillfully settling them in peace. They lead beings to cultivate pure conduct, constantly and diligently accumulating good roots. Okay, so look at this. When the bodhisattvas... So what was our theme? Again, you remember the theme was the bodhisattva. Let's use the language that I was using here. The bodhisattva gives court ladies and maidservants to living beings born from the bodhisattva's wholesome karma, and they give them away as, the word I was looking for, interns. They give them away as interns and assistants and temps for anyone who needs them. So these are people from their own household who, when requested, is able to share these servants, these helping hands, these interns. Now, that's our theme. And so we just heard about some of the dedications, and we heard some of the reasons why they might do that. And the results. When they do that, what happens? This is the next passage. 大家记得菩萨在这段，他呢就把他自己就说本来那个经文就说他的宫殿里边的，那么不是说每一个众生住在宫殿里，就是家里，他的家里的里边的一些侍者，还有一些帮手，一些工人，这些住在他家里的人，就需要的话，他就不是出去了，让大家可以得到这些帮手的好处，明白吗？结果呢，他说就华严经就说他这样做的话有这些好处。So the sutra says when the bodhisattva does that, this is what happens. These bodhisattvas, as a result of that karma of sharing members of their own household, they get born into the Buddha's household, reborn again. So that's a real benefit, man. Your siblings are all pure bodhisattvas and your parents are the Buddhas. Imagine how much that would cut down on fights at the dinner table. Yeah, imagine how often you don't have to go to pull them out of trouble or to bail them out when they run out of money or they come to borrow money from you. They wouldn't take your sweater without or your dress without asking, So yeah, all of the issues that arise in families, this would not be the case in the Buddha's household. Can you imagine what that would be like? Wow. 因为菩萨愿意布施出去从他自己家里的人，所以呢，他自己的果报啊，你种如是因，你就结如是果，怎么样呢？他自己出生在佛的，在如来的家里边了啊。那好 ，Okay, let's see here. We got a question. Okay. 重播 Okay, there we go. Let's see here. 请问法师在哪里可以听释法师讲明法的重播 Okay, so let's see here. 释法师，我现在想再回向母亲，让母亲离苦得乐，然后呢？再大回向，这样做如法吗 ？Okay, good questions. 这你们大家问的问题很好。So Sue's question is about taking refuge. How do you convince people to take refuge? You don't. And often if you try, you will push them further away. So the very best way to influence people to take refuge with the Dharma is to be a good Buddhist yourself. You really have to, as they say, 现身说法. You have to teach by example. Silently is the very best way to convince people that Buddhism has benefits for them. If you yourself are in doubt, or if you get afflicted, if you have a temper, and then you preach the Dharma to others and say, boy, you should do this, you should do that. Often they'll say, well, what benefits do you get out of it? So if you are, on the other hand, really happy and peaceful and joyful as you cultivate the way, you don't have to say a word, and people will get the message and they will say, I would like to be like you. So truly the answer, if you want others to take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, find an opportunity where there is a place where the refuges are offered, but don't preach it. The words often, when you say things, if your tone has the slightest edge to it, or critical, or looking down on them, I'm pure, you're not, you've lost it. Just the more words you say, the worse it gets. So truly teach by example. 有人起个问题，就说，这个皈依三宝是好事，这个有种种的好处，我们应该怎么样？就说让不相信佛法的人，让他们就要皈依。我们应该怎么做才怎么说呢？我就说，以身作则，要现身说法。其实呢，皈依是自己真的想接近佛，他的大智慧，还有佛法，他的聪明的智慧，还有僧团他们的清净的行为。有的时候你自己本身都还在修行方面已经不是很坚固，结果呢，你有的时候还会生气呀，有的时候你还有烦恼，那么那个你想度的众生，他会不会说，那你有什么好处？那么我皈依呢，就像你一样，就烦恼深重啊，就不用了。话说回来，你如果在修行当中，就常常安详，修行当中你就开心，你就慈悲，你很好，大家跟你讲话，你就不必说，你就好好的听，真的聆听，注意听，他们给你一些问题，你就可以解决问题呢。他们自然而然都会说，那你的智慧好像有增长多少？那我想跟你来学，那就是好办法。所以呢，以身作则。你自己对修行还有一些不清楚的地方，你可能越讲话，他们就跑得越远。所以呢，就说少讲话，多用功，他们自然而然都想，就来找到你怎么得到这个智慧。Okay, that's good. 好的。Okay, then let's see here. Okay, yeah. 应该会收到。Okay, maybe Jin Yong Shi can share the information. Somebody asked about where can we hear the repeat, and that information is certainly available. We'll put it in there. Yeah. 好的，有的人就问怎么可以听到这个广播，就说那个可以有办法。OK， 好，那么 let's see now. Right now we are going to okay, the question was more subtle. Some people feel they don't need to take refuge if all they do is do good deeds. So this is complicated. Within this there are lots of issues. For example, if in the neighborhood, wherever you live, there are not qualified sangha or inspiring monks or nuns, then it's hard, right? There are other people who think taking refuge is great I'm going to take refuge with as many teachers as I can find. Just like Shansai Tongzi, I'll take refuge with 52 teachers, 53. So that's also wrong. So what we say is, people ask, why should I take refuge? Well, you can say, okay, so you're not interested in enrolling in the university. You think your knowledge is the equal of any student going through freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year. You have not paid tuition. You never took the tests. You may have read the books, so you have the knowledge, but at the end of 4 years, you have no diploma. No one recognizes your knowledge because you have not been trained. You don't carry the goals of the school forward. You haven't had the experience. You say, well, but my knowledge is the same as a college graduate. No other university or educated person would agree. They say you may be a reader, but you're certainly not a college graduate. So it's the same thing. You can do a lot of good deeds, and that's good. We encourage you to do more good deeds. But if you want to say that you're joining the Buddhist family, of which there are many, many benefits, then just do the formula. There's a reason why people have taken refuge with that formula for century after century after century from the Buddha's time on down. There are lots of benefits. One benefit is, they say, when you take refuge, the doors to the hells, the animals and the ghosts, close behind you, and the doors to humanity, devas, and Buddhahood open. It's invisible. I don't see those things, but I experience it. I believe that that is the case. 里边比较详细还有一些问题，就是说有的，如果你附近你住在什么地方附近没有僧团，你就说你只觉得感动，你愿意在他们的法座下皈依三宝，那就可能要到不同的地方，另外一些地方去找一个你愿意皈依的僧团，他们就是办那个仪式，皈依的是常住佛法僧三宝，可是你就那个眼前那个现世的僧团皈依，那就是一个。另外一些人呢，他们就说我到哪里去有高僧我都皈依他了，然后就等于 baseball cards， 就他们看到出家人就愿意就要求皈依呢，好像上赛通子53参，那也不必了，那也太多了，你皈依一次已经够了啊！你皈依的是常住三宝啊，那么所以呢，这里边都有一些问题了。不过呢，有人就说，哎，我不需要皈依，我的智慧跟他们那些皈依弟子一样的，我读那些书啊。我都可以礼佛，一样的。那么你就可以问问他，你就说好了，有两个人，一个是申请读大学，接受，他就开始付这个学费，然后上课、读书、考试，1年级、2年级、3年级、4年级毕业了，哇，得到这个文凭。第二个人呢，他就读书，他没有申请，也没有被接受入册，那么他也不考试啊，他也不上课啊，那么读书有知识没有错，然后1年过了，2年、3年、4年过了，他不毕业，没得到文凭。他说：“哎，我的知识跟那个大学毕业的人一样的，我都读他的书。可是呢，你问那个校友啊，他们你是跟他们一样的？不一样。”不一样，你没有受到大学的教育，所以呢不能比，不一样的。那么你就说不必皈依三宝，一样的有，那就差不多了，你可以明白。Okay, all right. Let's see here. Oh, we got lots of questions here. Amitofo. How do you take refuge in the CTDB? Go to CTDB. Sorry, at the moment that's the way to do it. It's in America. That's true. So if you want to take refuge in the city of 10,000 Buddhas, Master Hsuanhua's Dharma lineage. Now, if you live in Australia, occasionally we do it in Australia once or twice a year. If you are in Hong Kong, you can take refuge at Heng occasionally. When the monks or nuns come to Taiwan, you can take refuge there. In Malaysia, you can take refuge there. Canada, you have to kind of wait for the Sangha to arrive. But that's, there's that method. 他的问题是如何在玄化上人、玄公上人的法座下皈依三宝，在万佛城，你就去万佛城就可以了。那个maybe Jin Yong Shi could put the link to the calendar so they could see the days that the refuge is offered. Maybe I don't know if that's available. 就说分支道场啊，澳大利亚这个台湾啊，马来西亚、香港，还有加拿大、美国不同地方，出家众到哪里去都给你机会。Okay, so there you go. Alrighty. I'm not sure what is being shared in the chat there. Okay. All right. 好的。Let's, what we're going to do right now, we're going to do some chanting so that people can cultivate their own blessings and have something to transfer. 我们现在学习吉祥经，让大家明白什么叫福报，什么叫最吉祥，然后到时候我们都有功德可以回向。Ready? Here we go. Your part goes like this. These are the highest blessings. These are the highest blessings. Thus I have heard that the Blessed One was staying at Shrivasti, residing at the Jadis Grove in an Appendicus Park. Then in the dark of the night, the radiant Deva illuminated all the Jadis Grove. She bowed down low before the Blessed One, and standing to one side she said, Devas are concerned for happiness and ever long for peace, and the same is true for humankind. What then are the highest blessings? What then are the highest blessings? Okay, and now the Buddha speaks. Here he goes. He says, avoiding those of foolish ways, associating with the wise, honoring those worthy of honor. Here we go. These are the highest blessings. You want to sing? Try it. These are the highest blessings. Living in places of suitable kinds with the fruits of past good deeds, guided by the rightful way, join me? Here we go. These are highest blessings. These are highest blessings. Accomplished in learning and craftsman skills, with discipline, highly trained, speech that is true and pleasant to hear. These are the highest blessings. These are the highest blessings. Okay, we learned a little bit from the Buddha's words. 我们都学到一点点，什么叫最高的、最吉祥的福报呢？就说物尽愚痴人，应与智者交，尊敬有德者，那就是最吉祥。居住失意处，往昔有德行，只身于正道，是为最吉祥。多闻公益经，言持诸境界，言谈悦人心，是为最吉祥。OK， 那么我们每个礼拜都会常多一点这个吉祥经，那么这样子修一些善根。那好了。Okay, we do a little bit of the Mangala Sutta, the Blessing Sutra, every week. Cultivate our own blessings and wisdom. Learning what the Buddha says is the true path to happiness in the world. 这就是入世的真正道路。Okay. 增长诸佛清净圣音。They develop the pure supreme causes of all Buddhas. 为什么佛成佛呢？因为集集这些圣音。那么菩萨他在这样子修回向的时候就这样做。出生最胜一切之道，他们就不知不觉所做的决定呢，总是有智慧，不会做错了。So the things that bring Buddhas to Buddhahood, those specific causes, because after all, Buddhahood is still cause and effect. There's reasons why Buddhas become Buddhas. These bodhisattvas find themselves increasing those causes, those seeds. Furthermore, they find themselves without effort, not giving rise to. They are the things, the decisions they make reach success, and they mess up less. They find themselves walking that path. 深入菩萨广大智业，灭除一切世间垢恼。They fully immerse themselves in bodhisattvas' vast and wide deeds. Yeah, wouldn't that be good? And the world of defilement and vexation, they know how to get rid of it. Oh boy. Doesn't that sound good? I mean, think about how most of us spend our days. And these bodhisattvas are like, nah, just a lot of wisdom. The things they do just kind of correspond with the Tao. And so they steer a path through extremes. They always wind up on the happy side. So, like the Carter family, live on the happy side of life. So, 菩萨这样做呢，他们生命过的日子呢，总是开心啊。他们做错了很少，现在做正确啊就多了。你说多么好！ 常能公事功德福田，为助众生宣说妙法。They always make offerings to fields of merit and blessings, and they expound the wonderful Dharma for living beings. So, in other words, these bodhisattvas, what do? They are donors. They give. They're always giving. They are, even though they're way up on the path of the bodhisattva path, they are donors. They're still giving all the time. 虽然菩萨是已经在这个菩萨道上走的已经很高的地位，他们继续做布施，他们还是慈善家，不停着不是说哎呀他们现在发大财几百万所以呢就不必供养，不是，他们越能供养，他们越做供养然后呢常常为众生说法。Look at this one. This is very interesting. They speak Dharma for living beings so that living beings, 善巧安利, find themselves happy to listen and follow. What does it mean to speak Dharma for others? It means the advice that you give really works. It really works. And somehow, skillfully, without even knowing how it happened, people take your advice and stuff works out. 灵气修习诸清净行，常亲摄去一切善根. Look at this one. They lead living beings to cultivate pure conduct, always diligently accumulating good roots. Okay? So, leading others to cultivate pure conduct. Yeah. I remember we have some dear friends here in the Bay Area who have been with us since the beginning of the Berkeley Monastery, a long time. And they had a custom that was kind of a holdover from before they met the Dharma, which was all of the employees at their restaurant, a certain time of the year, would all gather in Las Vegas. They would go to Las Vegas for a Christmas holiday. And it was, I guess, 4 or 5 days. And it was a habit. It was a company perk of working at this restaurant. The owners of the restaurant would take all the employees to Las Vegas for 3 or 4 days, a weekend, a long weekend in Las Vegas. And I remember we had a similar passage, which was, it's good to practice pure practices. That's how good roots grow and your wisdom grows and all. And we were sitting together with everybody at Berkeley, and the subject came up, what are you doing over Christmas? And they said, well, we're taking our group to Las Vegas. And there was silence. Everybody laughed. Oh, really? No kidding. Oh, well, okay. Have fun. It's going to be kind of hard to keep your pure practices going, but I'm sure you can do it. Good, have fun. So they went. And you could see they were like, maybe this isn't the best thing anymore. Maybe we should think about maybe stopping this. So they went to Las Vegas and came back. And 2 weeks later, we were all gathered together again. Oh, how did it go in Las Vegas? We bought a trunk full of liquor, a trunk full of alcohol, and somebody didn't lock it, and it was stolen before we could drink it. And somebody who didn't lock the trunk of the car got really angry and had a fight with their spouse and chipped a tooth. And someone else had their wallet stolen. And somebody else got so hungover they got sick, and they spent some time in the hospital. And honestly, Fasher, it was awful. It was miserable. We decided we're not going to do it again. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, okay, glad you decided to change your Now that you're cultivating the Buddha's path, maybe you can change your old habits. Yeah, we think that's a good idea, Foster. So it's not easy. It's not easy in the world to practice pure practices, but the Bodhisattva is able to help others see the value and really sticking to the wisdom that they've attained through their cultivation. 记得那个就说经文怎么说呢？就说令其休息诸清净行这个我们有一家很虔诚的老弟子，他们在 Berkeley 这里跟着我们从最早1995年，很久了。他们没有皈依三宝之前，他们有个习惯，他们的餐馆所有的属于他们的那个工作人员呢，到圣诞节的时候都会去拉斯维加斯去度一个长的周末4天呢，在那边去赌博、喝酒、看那个娱乐什么的什么的。他们现在已经皈依三宝，他们愿意修行，可是他们就没有改这个老方法，所以我们就大家坐在一起，我们都说，哎，你们这个 Christmas holiday 怎么过呢？他们就说，哦，我们呢就去拉斯维加斯，大家就真的哦，那边修行很不容易哦，很大障碍。对啊，好啊，祝你们快乐，have fun，you know。然后2个礼拜过了，他们回来了，问问他们，哎，你们在拉斯维加斯怎么样？他说，其实光年不好过，有一个人，他买了所有我们要喝的，我们准备喝的酒，放在他行李箱，他的车子的行李箱没有好好锁，有人偷了，整个几百块钱的这个酒都偷了，走了没有了。然后呢，因为浪费那么多钱，有人打他的嘴，打到就破了一个牙齿，就去那个牙医，花了2-3天在牙医的这个诊所啊。另外一个人呢，跟他的妻子就吵架了另外一个人他的那个钱袋那个 wallet 就被人偷了，结果呢应该说有另外一个人喝醉酒就糊涂了，就入院了，应该说不好过，以后我们不再回去了。我说哦，那好了，就希望大家休息诸清净行不容易哦，不容易，那是真的是的事情呀。OK， 要改那些习气不好改。哎呦 ，Alrighty, so the 10 Transferences lectures are on YouTube. You can find them there. Good, good. Okay.
There's a question asking whether it's important. Does it make difference to take refuge under different monks?
Okay, let's see here. Could I see that in Chinese?
Yeah, in the check.
Let's see here. Does it matter? Okay, does it matter which venerable you take refuge with? Okay, so 问题是问那个，就说你皈依哪一位大的有没有关系了？ So the story goes that the monks who do the ceremony, let's say you're at City of 10,000 Buddhas, you ask Jin Shi to do it, or Heng Shi, or whoever it might be, Jin Shi, those monks, and it's usually bhikshus, those monks are the facilitators that make it possible for you to take refuge with the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha of the 10 directions in 3 periods of time. So you could say it really doesn't matter. There's a teaching that says as soon as a young man becomes a bhikshu, one day after he becomes a fully ordained bhikshu, he is qualified to administer the refuges. 皈依佛,皈依法,皈依僧, he can give you the ceremony. And although every monk does it slightly differently, they can say, oh, you are my disciple. Once you take refuge with me. At City of 10,000 Buddhas, we do it differently. We say, you take refuge through the 现前,眼前的僧团, but you are taking refuge with the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha of the 10 directions. And the refuge certificate, the 皈依证书 that you get says, 万佛圣成的传戒委员会, the committee for transmitting precepts of City of 10,000 Buddhas are your refuge masters. That way, none of us, I have no disciples. Nobody can say they are Heng Sure Fa's disciples. We don't do it that way because we have a large Sangha, and if one monk does all the ceremony, then he gets all the disciples. Everybody else feel bad about that. So you take refuge the way we do it with through the monks and nuns that belong to Dharma and Buddhist Association. But in fact, your refuge, you are taking refuge with the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha of the 10 directions in 3 periods of time. 其实你说有没有关系？你皈依的是哪一个大的，哪一个法师？应该说没有关系了。那么据说一个比丘他受具足戒，他从沙弥地位到比丘地位，第一天他都有资格把那个三皈传给你。你是经过他的仪式皈依十方三世常住佛法僧三宝，是这样子。那么你得到皈依证书，从我们法界佛教总会那个皈依证明书那个小册子就说，你皈依的是万佛圣成传戒委员会。我自己本身恒时没有一个弟子都没有了，我从来没有收弟子的。可是呢，我传那个仪式很多次，几千个人啊，所以那个是我们的方法。因为出家众多，如果哪一个法师就有机会传那个仪式的，办那个仪式的法师，如果他说你们所有的弟子是我的弟子啊，那么其他的法师都会说，那个不是很好啊，我们呢？所以呢，我们就是这样做。因为这个关系呢，你皈依一次不必多了啊，你不要 collect 法师，你不要说我有这个此际的皈依证，我有法鼓的皈依证，我有佛光的皈依证，我有中台的皈依证，那不如法，那个不必了啊，你皈依一次就够了。OK， 好的。那话说回来，如果你皈依了，可是你皈依的师父就往生了，或者换虚了，不再做，或者你觉得跟你没有缘，就太远，住在海外，你可以另外取一个皈依的师父来供养，来请法，就问问题啊，或者听法都可以。那个是我们有这种开源啊。Now, that being said, if you take refuge with someone, and then you discover that that monk has died, or has returned to lay life, or perhaps is not suitable for you, you don't feel comfortable asking them for Dharma, you don't have a chance to make offerings to them, they live too far away, any reason like that, you can take refuge with another teacher. Or if you think, I really want to take refuge with Master Shenhua's line, but you have taken refuge with someone else, we're reasonable and say, sure, if you want to take refuge again, that's fine. Okay, so that's kind of the way we think about the issue of taking refuge. Alrighty, and if you have a copy of the City of 10,000 Buddhas annual calendar, I believe it's available online. I think Jin Heng Sure might have put that link in there. You can see when the refuges are offered.
Not this year. Not this year.
Yeah. It's not on there, huh? Because
it's
of COVID.
Not this year.
Yeah. Okay.
I think they were not sure whether we'll transmit
Yeah,
refugees.
COVID really upset all kinds of stuff. That's true. Okay, so if you can call City of 10,000 Buddhas and ask when is, but usually on big holidays, Buddha's birthday, Guanyin Dan, Guanyin Bodhisattva's various 3 ceremonies of the year, that's often an opportunity to take refuge. 应该好像因为疫情的关系了，所以我们今年的月历没有这么说。可是呢，我们可以你可以打电话或者送 email 给王福成，他们会告诉你哪一天应该是佛诞啊、观音诞这些日子呢有机会。All right, now the time has come to close out today's lecture. We will continue next week, and I would like to encourage everybody to transfer merit. Here's a chance to do that. Oh boy, you can do your own transference here. And we're going to do it not with the traditional Yuan Zi Gong De. We're going to do it with a mantra. The mantra is in Sanskrit. This is Yao Shi Guan Ding Zhen Yan. This is Medicine Buddha's mantra for anointing the crown of the head in Sanskrit. And make your wish, just like an Avatamsaka Bodhisattva, how you want your merit to go out. Okay? 这是药师观定真言梵文版梵文，你可以回向，就像华严经的菩萨，你愿意回向你的功德，看你愿意布施给谁哈。Samyak Sambuddhaya Yata Om Saji Saji Saja Samukati Bhava Namo Bhagavate Saja Guru Samyak Sambuddhaya Yata Om Saji Saji Samukati Swaha. Try it with me. 再来试试。Om Namo Bhagavate Saja Arhate Samyak Sambuddhaya Yata Om Saji Saji Samukati Swaha. And to conclude, we will bow to the Buddhas. You're welcome to join. Here we go. 我们相佛三文心理。 和尚 bow in respect to the Venerable Master. Hala, 我们到此为止. That'll do it for us for tonight. Okay, Heng Sure, no messages for anyone tonight?
Not particularly. Next week, we will be back this week. We don't have second speaker. 下礼拜天和今天一样，没有另外一个讲演的人。就是今天没透过。Thank you, 是法师 for your lecture.
All righty. Good night, everybody. 阿弥陀佛. Bye bye now.
Good night. 阿弥陀佛。